Hey guys, it's Alex with Hammond Watch. Here today with the Seiko Recraft SNKN37. It's a watch that I've been curious about for a long time. I really like the 70s inspired vibe. At the same time, I was a little bit curious about the sizing and kind of how it wore, so I wanted to share it with you guys today. General dimensions, it's a 44 millimeter case. You're looking at 11.5 millimeters thick with a 6 millimeter push-pull crown providing 50 meters of water resistance. 50 millimeters lug to lug, and they're drilled lugs for easy strap changes. That lug width is 24 millimeters. The calf strap kind of tapers down to 20 millimeters, where we also have a signed buckle. Behind Seiko's Hardlex or mineral crystal, you'll find a pretty attractive navy blue dial. Plays with the light very well. On the intersection you have Seiko applied at 12 o'clock, printed automatic at 6, as well as a full printed hour and minute track. On the outer almost chapter ring you have applied indices. You get 12, 2, 4, 6, and 8, and then indices for the odd notations. There's printing on the hands as well as those odd indices, but that's just to break up the reflective nature of both. There is no luminescence to the dial. Not a dive watch, not necessarily a dress watch given its sporty feel. Kind of an in-betweener and more of just kind of a general purpose kind of style built watch. The case has a nice brushing to it on the top and side. You have a polished edge to break it up, as well as polished lugs and a polished crown. The back of the watch is completely polished with a display Hardlex case back, where you can see the 7S26C movement. No particular decoration, just a view in at the watch's kind of inner workings. Here it is on my 7.5 to 7 3/4 inch wrist. I don't mind the strap really. The watch itself is very handsome, and I've got a pretty flat wrist, so I can usually get away with pieces like this, but it just feels a tad oversized. And I think a lot of that has to do with just how much dial real estate that there is with the watch. Not really something that I think I could wear and look down at comfortably. But at the same time, it really doesn't hang over my wrist as far as the lugs go. It really doesn't sit up too proud of the wrist either. Just something about it. It feels enormous on wrist. And I'm going to do a couple comparisons to really show you what I mean. When I start thinking about large watches that fit really well, the Turtle comes to mind first. These watches have similar size cases, yet the Recraft just visually feels a lot bigger. And I think the 24 millimeter lug width has a lot to do with it. Also, the case has no curvature on the underside. You know, you're getting every bit of that 44 millimeters when you put it on wrist. And it just feels a bit over proportioned. You know, I think if they tapered this thing down to a 41 millimeter watch, it would be a lot more palatable. But just as it sits, it feels enormous. Here it is beside the Casio Duro as well. Probably a little bit closer in feel, but at the same time, the Recraft still feels like it kind of dwarfs what is a relatively large case on the Duro. If you've got a larger wrist and don't mind all the dial real estate, I think this is a very attractive option. Vintage inspired design, beautiful navy dial, Seiko automatic. You can pick these up new just over $100 and used well under pretty easily. Big fan of the overall aesthetic. It's just, for me, it wears a bit large, and that dial just really makes it feel bigger than 44 millimeters. I think also that 24 millimeter strap makes it a bit tough because it kind of sizes the watch up a little bit. It just feels kind of extra bulky on wrist. But glad I had it in hand and got to put it on wrist. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. It really helps in YouTube's algorithm. Also subscribe to the channel. I put watch content out weekly at a minimum, and I hope to see you in the next one.